Hey, it's Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training. In this video, we're going to be talking about the adjustments you need to make when you get to 2 strikes. Now, before we jump into the tips, I think it's very important to note that one of the best ways to reduce strikeouts, especially if you're currently struggling with hitting with 2 strikes, is don't get to 2 strikes. So in other words, force contact early. You're not going to be able to do that every single time though, right? Obviously, you've got to learn to hit with 2 strikes, but I think that's the very first key. If you're struggling with strikeouts, quit getting yourself into too many 2-strike situations, too many 2-strike counts to begin with, all right? But that being said, 2 strikes are inevitable. If you want to be a great hitter, you need to learn how to hit with 2 strikes. That's what this video is here for. So let me give you a couple tips. So I'm going to give you some physical adjustments that you need to make in the box, as well as some mental adjustments. I think both are kind of required with 2 strikes. It's important to note that I don't think you should change your swing too much with 2 strikes. A lot of times you see hitters that are, they look like they're their big self when they have, a fresh count, and then when they get to 2 strikes, it's almost like they shrink down and their body language changes and their confidence changes and their swing changes. You don't want that, but there are some adjustments that need to be made. So the first 2-strike tip is move closer to the plate. All right, so if you normally position yourself, in the batter's box, something like this, you need to move not closer to the pitcher, but closer to the plate. Not right on top of the plate, but just scoot a little bit closer to the plate. And the reason why is because, number one, most, backwards Ks happen on the outer half. All right, and for good reason. Why do most strikeouts, especially looking strikeouts, happen on the outer half? Well, pitchers don't want to throw anything inside, and they don't want to get hurt with 2 strikes, especially in a count like 0-2, 1-2, something like that. Most hitters do damage on middle pitches, on inside pitches. That's where hitters have the most power. So pitchers, they don't want to get hurt with 2 strikes on the inner half of the plate. They'd rather just go away, and maybe you'll, dink the ball the other way for a base hit, but it won't be a home run that really hurts them, or maybe you'll just ground out with a weak ground ball to the opposite side or something like that. Or maybe you'll strike out. So pitchers are gonna have a tendency to throw away with 2 strikes because they do not want to get hurt in. So to counteract that, we need to scoot, make a physical adjustment in the box. We need to move a little bit closer to the plate. And another reason you need to move closer to the plate is because, let's say it's a fresh count, you kind of have a little bit of leverage in the fact that you don't have to swing at everything, right? You might be looking, okay, I'm looking middle or middle in. Maybe anything on the outer half, you kind of, leave it alone and you don't swing at that. And you have that, freedom and that ability because it's a fresh count. If he throws you a first pitch fastball in the outer half and it's a great pitch, well then fine, you've got more strikes to work with. But with 2 strikes, you don't have that luxury. Pitchers are going to have a tendency to throw away, and also umpires behind the dish, they might be calling a few balls outside, right? So we need to counteract that. We need to move closer to the plate. We need to make sure that we at least have plate coverage, not only to the outside edge of the plate, but beyond the outside edge of the plate. So all of these reasons are reasons why the first tip, the first adjustment is we need to scoot closer to the plate. Now, the mental adjustment that goes with moving closer to the plate is we need to think outside and react inside. Think outside, think away, react in. I'm telling you, it's so much easier when you're mentally or closer to the plate, and mentally when you're anticipating a pitch that's probably going to be on the outer half, and then when he throws you an inside pitch, it's so much easier to recognize that and go, oh, I need to get everything going, I need to pull my hands in, and I need to hit the ball out front. It's so much easier to do that than it is to be, thinking, well, I think he's going to bust me in. I think he's going to throw me an inside pitch here, and be ready for, an inside pitch and then try to react away. That's kind of when you get those butt out swings and stuff like that. You have to be anticipating away. Think away. I'm telling you, it's so much easier to do that, and you're protecting the outside part of the plate, and then you're working in. Another 2-strike tip that'll really help you out: what do a lot of pitchers like to throw with 2 strikes, especially 0-2, 1-2? A lot of times you're gonna see off-speed pitches, you're gonna see breaking balls, maybe a curveball, right? So the tip is see it up. See it up. And what I mean by that is you have to understand the break of pitches. So a curveball, the curveballs that are going to break down and into the strike zone for a strike, they're actually going to start out a little bit higher, and then they're going to break down into the strike zone. But a curveball that starts down, that starts low, where's it going to break? It's going to continue to break, and it's going to break even lower. So the reality is, right, obviously if a curveball starts above our head, that's probably not going to be a strike. But out of the hand, a lot of the times, you're going to see a curveball that looks like it's a little bit up, but those are the ones that you crush out of the park, those ones that look a little bit up because they're going to break right down into the strike strike zone, but the ones that start down, that start low, they're gonna finish even further. So a common problem is, you know, guys are swinging at curveballs in the dirt and stuff like that. A lot of times the reason for that is because they didn't see it up. So with 2 strikes, you gotta be ready for everything. You know, you've gotta anticipate that you might be seeing an off-speed pitch, and when you do see a breaking ball, you've got to see it up. Those are the ones that you swing at. If it starts low, it's gonna finish even lower. Those are the ones you take. With 2 strikes, you've also got to slow the game down. You know, it's so easy with a fresh, brand new at bat. It's easy to be this confident hitter that's, you know, ready up there to do damage. But then with 2 strikes, you kind of shrink down, and, you know, your breathing starts to get shallow. Your hands start to get a little bit clammy, right? And the game, it feels like it's literally speeding up on you. So how do we slow it down? You've got to breathe. Breathe, slow everything down, relax. You want to stay physically relaxed. In the batter's box, even with 2 strikes, physically you've got to be relaxed. You can't be squeezing the sawdust out of the bat. That's going to make your entire body tight. You've got to breathe, and you've got to stay physically relaxed. Now mentally, you've got to be aggressive. Mentally, you've got to be ready for everything, ready to protect the plate, ready to expand the zone, all that kind of stuff. So mentally locked in. Mentally, we're attack mentality, aggressive, but physically with our body, we got to breathe, you got to relax. The last tip I got for you is don't leave it up to the umpire. Don't let the umpire decide your fate. So what that means is you've got to be ready to go, and you got to be swinging at anything close, right? It could be the second game of a doubleheader. It's hot outside. They're ready to go home. Maybe they, without even knowing it, they're human, right? Maybe they expand the zone a little bit. We don't want to leave our fate up to the umpire, the guy behind the dish, okay? So expand your zone. You've got to put the ball in play on anything close, and your mentality really should be, you know, I'm swinging until it's a ball. I'm swinging until it's clearly a ball. Anything close, I'm putting the ball in play. I'm swinging until it's a ball. I think having that mentality is going to help you naturally expand the zone. You're going to be a better 2-strike hitter because of it. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And really quickly, if you're serious about taking your hitting to the next level, I got something for you. It's a 100% free resource. I really think it's going to help you out. It's called the Contact Point Checklist. What I've done is I've freeze framed the swing at the point of contact. That way you can freeze your swing at the point of contact, and you can see how you stack up. I point out specific things you should be looking for in your swing at the point of contact. I think it's going to help you become a better hitter, and it's 100% free. All you have to do to download that is just click on the link down below in the description. I'll also put the link in the comment section so you can find it there. If you thought this video was helpful, please leave a like. I'd really appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe. That way you never miss any upcoming videos we're coming out with on a weekly basis.